Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not random. It was meant to reach you at this exact moment. There is a woman in your son's life who has caused more damage than you ever realized. She walks into every room with a soft smile, the kind that makes people trust her instantly. No one would ever guess the truth. Yet she has been silently influencing your son's actions, his thoughts, his path, like a puppeteer hidden behind a curtain. Every setback he faced, every bad decision, every moment he seemed lost or confused, if you trace it back, her shadow is there. She has been close, too close, closer than anyone suspected. She pretended to care for him. She pretended to want the best for him. But behind that gentle voice and kind face, her intentions are darker than you can imagine. She didn't appear as an enemy. That's what makes her dangerous. She blended in, as if she belonged. And all while you were trying to protect him, she was pulling him deeper into trouble without anyone noticing. But now her mask is cracking. Her plans are unraveling. And the truth is rising to the surface. As you hear this message, every moment of confusion you felt about your son will begin to make sense. The arguments that came out of nowhere. The sudden distance. The emotional shutdowns. The strange change in habits, behavior, and attitude. None of it was random. None of it was harmless. She has been feeding his mind with poison one drop at a time while pretending to be someone who cares. She knows his weaknesses. She knows his dreams. She knows what hurts him and what makes him feel seen. And she used that knowledge to control him without him even realizing it. She didn't have to speak loudly. She didn't have to show anger. Her power was in her silence and her smile. She whispered small suggestions at the right time, changing his direction one thought at a time. Her goal was not to support him, but to weaken him slowly until he could no longer see clearly. And the most painful part is that your son trusts her. He does not see the trap. He believes she is a blessing, when she has been the root of his struggle all along. You watched him lose opportunities he should have received. You saw him slip away from his potential. You wondered why life suddenly seemed harder for him. Why he seemed more closed off. Why he stopped listening. It was her. She made sure that the moment he was about to rise, something would pull him back down. The reason he has been confused. The reason he has been frustrated. The reason he can't seem to move forward. The reason he feels like the world is against him. It's because she positioned herself as the closest voice in his ear. She has been guiding him away from everything and everyone that could help him. Including you. This is why he pushed you away. This is why he stopped sharing. This is why he became defensive and distant. She wanted him separated from the ones who truly love him, because isolation makes control easy. And she was careful. So careful. Quiet enough to avoid suspicion. Gentle enough to be trusted. Sweet enough to appear harmless. But every move was calculated. Every smile was a disguise. Every comforting gesture was part of her strategy. She has been shaping his life without you seeing it. But now her walls are cracking. And once the truth is fully revealed, he will look back and wonder how he ever trusted her at all. But he cannot see it yet. He is too close. He is too deep. And that is why only you can save him. You are the one person who can pull him back. Because there is a bond between you and him that she cannot break. Even if she tries. Even if she thinks she already has. You are the voice that carries the power to awaken him. The truth is knocking and the time has come for the mask to fall. You have felt this woman's energy before. You have sensed something was wrong even when there was no proof. You felt the shift in your son's spirit. You felt the distance in his eyes. You felt the wounding in his heart. Your intuition was never wrong. You saw what others ignored. And now the truth is ready to be spoken. When her name is revealed, everything will click. The missing piece will fall into place. The confusion will break. And the chains she placed on your son's life will begin to loosen. This is not just any woman. She is skilled in influence. Skilled in manipulation. Skilled in hiding her intentions behind kindness. She doesn't destroy lives openly. She does it quietly, slowly, with patience. That is why your son never recognized the damage she caused. She didn't attack him. She shaped him. She didn't force him. She guided him. She didn't confront him. She reassured him. And the entire time, she was cutting him away from the world he needed. But her time is ending. The mask is falling. Her intentions are being exposed. And now you must step in, not with anger, not with fear, but with clarity. Because your voice is the one voice she cannot control. Your presence is the one presence she cannot manipulate. Your love is the one force that can break every chain she wrapped around him. You are the key. You are the shield. You are the one who must stand now. Your son is depending on you without even realizing it. And once the name is spoken, everything that was hidden will come into the light. He will finally be free. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. And now listen closely, because the story is not finished yet. The truth is still unfolding, and the moment of clarity is getting closer. The woman we are speaking about has always moved carefully, slowly, and quietly, making sure no one questioned her intentions. She watched your son with careful eyes. She learned how he thinks, how he loves, how he hopes, and how he hurts. She did not simply enter his life by chance. She positioned herself. She studied him. She planned her role before he even realized she was important. And because she appeared harmless, she was able to plant herself deep inside his trust, deeper than anyone else around him. She used her closeness to shape him, not into who he truly is, but into who she wanted him to be. Every time he tried to rise, she placed a weight on his shoulders. Every time he tried to move forward, she whispered something that made him doubt himself. She did not have to speak loudly. She spoke at the right moments. She chose her words carefully, making them sound gentle, understanding, supportive. But each word was designed to move him away from his purpose and deeper into dependence on her. She wanted him to feel like she was the only one who understood him. She wanted him to feel like he couldn't succeed without her. She wanted him to feel like everyone else, including you, was somehow against him. And little by little, she succeeded. You saw the change. You felt the shift. You watched your son begin to close off, slowly, quietly, like a flower folding in on itself at night. His smile changed. His confidence faded. His energy dimmed. He began questioning himself in ways he never did before. He began second-guessing his strengths. He began shrinking instead of growing. But understand this, your son did not change on his own. Someone guided him into that shadow. Someone held his mind in their hands. Someone spoke into his heart when he was vulnerable. And that someone was her. She fed him doubt disguised as advice. She fed him fear disguised as care. She fed him insecurity disguised as concern. And he trusted every word because he could not see the hidden intention behind them. But you saw it. You felt it in your spirit before you ever saw it in his behavior. You sensed something was wrong, even when others dismissed your concern. And that is because a mother's spirit sees far before the eyes can understand. Your spirit recognized the danger before your mind could explain it. That was not imagination. That was discernment. That was love warning you. And now the warning is becoming a revelation. There have been moments where you felt like your son was slipping away from himself. Moments where his emotions didn't feel like his own. Moments where he reacted in ways you could not recognize. It was because she was shaping him from the shadows. She was guiding his emotions. She was influencing his choices. She was pulling him away from the people who truly love him, step by step, moment by moment. And the closer she brought him to her world, the weaker he became. His spirit became tired. His choices felt clouded. His path began to blur. But understand something very clearly, he is not gone. He is not lost. He is not beyond reach. He is under influence, not transformation. He is under influence, not change. And influence can be broken. Chains can be broken. Control can be broken. But it cannot be broken by just anyone. It can be broken by the one person who was meant to protect him before he took his first breath. You. There is a force inside you that she cannot touch. There is a love in you that she cannot imitate. There is a strength in you that she cannot overpower. She fears you more than you know. This is why she has tried to make distance between you and your son. This is why she tried to make him stop listening to you. This is why she tried to make your voice seem small. Because she knows your voice is the one key that can snap every chain she wrapped around him. She knows your presence is the one presence that can wake him up. She knows your love is the one love strong enough to call his true self back to the surface. And the closer we get to revealing her identity, the more afraid she becomes. Because once her name is spoken, her control begins to break. Once her identity is seen, her power begins to fall apart. Everything she has built in the shadows will begin to collapse under the weight of truth. She has been working in silence because silence is where her strength lives. Your strength lives in truth. And truth is now rising like a storm. When the name is revealed, it will shake you, not in fear, but in realization. You will look back on moments that didn't make sense and suddenly everything will connect. You will see how she moved. You will see how she planned. You will see how she positioned herself around your son's life like a quiet trap. And once you see it clearly, you will know exactly what to do. You will step into the role you were always meant to hold. The protector. The guide. The shield. The force that breaks what was never meant to hold power. Your son does N. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. And now you must listen because this is the moment where everything begins to shift. The spiritual influence this woman has used over your son is not accidental. It did not come from simple emotional control. It came from something deeper, something rooted in intention, something that was planted long before you ever realized what was happening. She saw your son's potential. She saw the light in him. She saw the calling over his life. And instead of supporting it, she feared it. Because if he became who he was meant to be, she would lose her power. She would lose her position. She would lose control. And so she began to speak into his doubt. She began to feed his insecurities. She began to make him question his worth, his identity, his direction. She told him that he didn't need to listen to advice. She told him that no one understood him but her. She told him that the world was against him and that everyone was judging him. And slowly, he started believing her. Slowly, he began isolating himself, thinking she was the only one who saw him clearly. And that is how she positioned herself as his only voice. But she did not do this out of love. She did it out of possession. She wanted him to depend on her, so that he would never leave. She wanted him to feel that she was the only safe place, even though she was the very source of his pain. And this is why your son has seemed trapped. This is why his spirit has been heavy. This is why his joy has faded. This is why even when good things come to him, they seem to slip away. Because she has been speaking into his life with influence and intention, pulling him in the direction that keeps him weak, uncertain, and disconnected from his true purpose. But now the veil is lifting. The spiritual fog is clearing. The influence is beginning to crack. The more truth that comes into the light, the weaker her hold becomes. Your son can sense the shift, even if he cannot explain it. Something inside him is beginning to awaken. A part of him that has been quiet for too long is starting to rise again. His spirit is remembering something that was always his: strength, identity, calling, clarity. And that is where your role becomes more important than ever. Because the moment he begins to rise, she will also try harder to pull him back. She will become more emotional. She will play the victim. She will pretend to be hurt and misunderstood. She will try to guilt him into staying the same. She will say things like, "You're changing. You don't care anymore. You're abandoning me." But the truth is, he will not be abandoning her. He will be returning to himself. He will be stepping back into the identity that was always meant to be his. And she will not be able to stop it. Not this time. Not now. Not anymore. Because the light is exposing everything. And once truth is seen, it cannot be unseen. Your presence, your prayers, your voice, your protection will be the anchor that brings him back. You do not need to confront her. You do not need to expose her directly. You do not need to argue or fight. Your role is much greater than that. Your role is to stand as the one who sees the truth. Your role is to remind your son who he really is. Your role is to speak life where she spoke doubt. Your role is to speak strength where she planted fear. Your role is to speak identity where she planted confusion. Because your voice has spiritual power over him. Your love is not manipulation. Your love is not control. Your love is truth. And truth will always outlast deception. There will come a moment, very soon, where your son will say something that reveals everything. He will speak a sentence that finally exposes how deeply she influenced him. And that moment will be the opening. That moment will be when your words begin to break the chains. You will not need to raise your voice. You will not need to argue. You will simply speak from the place of knowing. You will speak, and something in him will shift. It will feel familiar. It will feel safe. It will feel real. Because no matter how far he has been led away, he still belongs to the truth. And truth always finds its way home. This woman has played her role, but her time is ending. The season of confusion is ending. The season of separation is ending. The season of spiritual distortion is ending. And your son is about to return to himself. He is about to remember who he is. He is about to break free. And when he does, he will look back at this period of his life with clarity, understanding, and strength. He will rise stronger. He will love deeper. He will speak wiser. He will see people's intentions clearly. And he will be protected in a way he never was before. The bond between you and him will heal. The distance will close. The silence will break. And peace will return to your home. Because this story was never about loss. It was about awakening. It was about revealing what needed to be seen so that he could grow into the version of himself he was always meant to become. And now that moment is here. So breathe. Stand firm. Do not fear. Do not rush. Do not push. Simply remain present. Your son is coming back to himself. And when he does, the light in him will shine brighter than it ever has before. The woman who tried to break him will fade into the background, because truth always outlives deception. And love always wins in the end. The story is not ending. The story is just now beginning. And listen closely now, because what comes next is the turning point, the moment where the unseen battle becomes visible, the moment where everything that was hidden begins to rise to the surface. Your son is standing at a crossroads in his life. One path leads back into confusion, dependency, emotional exhaustion, and cycles that repeat endlessly. The other path leads to healing, clarity, restoration, and a returning of his true self. And the reason this message found you is because you are the one chosen to guide him toward the right path. Not by force. Not by anger. Not by confrontation. But by presence, by patience, by love, and by spiritual authority. Because the bond between a parent and their child is not just emotional. It is spiritual. It is something that no manipulation can permanently break. Even when the mind is clouded. Even when the heart is confused. Even when the soul feels tired. That bond remains. It is the anchor that brings a lost child back home. And right now, your son is trying to find his way. He is struggling silently. He may not show it. He may act as though everything is fine. He may pretend that he is in control. But inside, there is a conflict happening. He feels torn. He feels pulled. He feels like something is wrong, but he cannot explain it. He feels distant from himself, from his joy, from his inner peace. The confusion he has been experiencing did not come from him. It came from influence. It came from the voice that has been whispering to him in moments of doubt, telling him to withdraw, telling him to shut down, telling him to ignore the ones who love him. But you are the voice that speaks truth. And now your voice must rise. Not loud. Not demanding. But steady. Calm. Clear. When you speak to him, speak to the spirit within him. Speak to the part of him that remembers who he really is. Speak to the part of him that existed long before this woman ever entered his life. Tell him that you see him. Tell him that you believe in him. Tell him that you love him with no condition and no pressure. Tell him that you are here and you are not going anywhere. Because love is the one thing she could never imitate. She could imitate concern. She could imitate affection. She could imitate attention. But she could not imitate true love. True love does not control. True love does not demand. True love does not isolate. True love does not shrink a person's voice, shrink their identity, shrink their purpose. True love expands. True love strengthens. True love awakens. And when your son feels real love, not the imitation, not the masked form, but the true love that comes from you, he will begin to remember who he is. This will not happen all at once. It will happen in moments. In the quiet. In the stillness. In the pauses between thoughts. There will be a moment where he sits alone and something inside him feels off. He will begin to question her intentions. He will begin to notice inconsistencies. He will begin to remember times when he felt most alive and realize he no longer feels that way. He will begin to see that he has been living in a version of himself that is too small. That is the moment the chains begin to break. And when that moment arrives, your presence will be the guiding hand that leads him out of the darkness and back into the light. But understand this as well, as the light rises, the darkness will try to resist. This woman will sense that she is losing her hold. She will become emotional, dramatic, desperate even. She may cry. She may blame him. She may try to make herself look like the victim. She may try to say that everyone is against her. Do not be moved. Do not react. Do not play into the performance. Because emotional chaos is the last defense of control. The quieter you remain, the faster the truth will become clear. Your silence is not weakness. It is power. It is clarity. It is authority. The truth does not need to shout. It simply needs to be seen. And the truth is rising. The truth is unfolding. The truth is revealing itself piece by piece. And once your son sees it, he will never unsee it. He will look back at this time in his life as a lesson, not a loss. He will rise wiser. He will rise stronger. He will rise with discernment. He will rise with clarity so sharp that he will never again allow someone to shape him in the shadows. And he will be grateful that you never gave up on him. Grateful that you saw what no one else could see. Grateful that you protected him even when he did not realize he needed protection. Your love will be the key that unlocks his healing. Your presence will be the bridge that leads him back home. Your patience will be the shield that guards him as he awakens. And when this chapter closes, he will look at you with new eyes. Eyes that see. Eyes that understand. Eyes that have returned. The story does not end in pain. The story ends in restoration. The confusion breaks. The fog lifts. The influence ends. The spirit awakens. And love wins. Always. This is the moment where everything shifts. Take a deep breath. The breakthrough is already happening. The light is already moving. The chains are already loosening. Your son is returning. And soon, very soon, peace will return to your home. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it.